Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to FamilyWorth. Once again, welcome. I'm really glad that we have this second episode with conversations with Ephraim Osagai under the banner of FamilyWorth. If you see this later, or even you're going to watch it later on, it's as fresh as if you're live. So really, I want to say thank you for you that's going to see this video later on. So today we're really all about introducing a very important aspect of family worth, and that is the private group under FamilyWorth Facebook page that is titled Conversations with Multicultural and Migrant Men. We'll talk about why that particular cohort later. But I just want to first of all take our minds back to the last episode, the episode one. Sometimes for one reason or the other, a few people may have missed it. It's not as if they plan to miss it, but it happens that life is just happening for everyone. So I have a short clip I would like you to see right now. Maybe that would just refresh for those that were with us, and those that were not here could have an opportunity to watch this particular episode. You can check our various media pages. Is there, the full version is there, but I just want to play for you the clip for the last episode. Just stand by, please. So it's not judgmental, but it's not anybody that went into marriage did not plan to end up in divorce. And there are always pains and losses associated with that. So it begs the question, Pastor Femi, with all those pain, why bother in the first place?
Yeah, I think one of our need as human beings is companionship.
Be optimistic about the whole thing, and hopefully, if we have families that are enforcing values and morals on how a marriage should look like, and they're setting a good example, then hopefully that will rub off and leave a positive impression.
Yes, so if in case you're just joining us for the first time now, you're welcome. I just played the clip for last episode just to refresh our memories. For those that were not with us, they will want to have a look later on. It's right there on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page. Go ahead and have a look later on. But today, like I said, it's really about introducing cMMM, Conversations with Multicultural and Migrant Men. And it should begin to trigger a question: why this? And I also know that for a few people that will watch this, it doesn't need too much justification. The fact that this particular target cohort or audience do need to have more conversations, primarily amongst ourselves, because really we don't need someone to come tell us and to have conversations. We should be ready to converse and discuss and share especially when we have common values, common challenges, common issues. So we do need one to share with one another. So I'm just trying to introduce it today. It doesn't need too much to locate where it is. So if I could just, what we are talking about today is conversation with multicultural migrant men. Now, this is going to be a part of FamilyWorth. It does not replace the general platform of FamilyWorth. FamilyWorth is for everybody, men, women, children, everything around families. But we realize that this particular target group do need some, if you like, a kind of a breakout group among the full set of family context for various reasons, which we'll come to later. But I want to first of all start with why, what it is not, what cMMM is not, what conversations with multicultural and migrant men is not. We need to sort that out right away, because sometimes in discussing what something is not, what it is could become clearer. So number one, it is not a women bashing platform. It is not a place where we'll come and be whinging about our wives, our daughters, or any member of the family for that matter, maybe even our sons. It's not a place for whinging. It is rather a place where we will be more inclusive, we will think bigger picture, we would actually think family, because men, we are part of family. And it is not about coming to whinge or to start throwing careless words around regarding our other half or women in our lives. No, cMMM is not for that. And I don't think God, of course, we already defined the boundaries of FamilyWorth, that it is set in the context of the Christian worldview. So sometimes we'll have to refer to the scriptures, we'll have to bring in that principle of the Bible, our faith, because we believe we're tapping from that inside, the worth of the inside can actually add to the solution rather than the problem. So I was just referring to what cMMM is not. It is not a place to come and be bashing the women in our lives, but rather it's even a place to celebrate that, if you like, irrespective of the experiences we have had or we are having. We as men, we have to think bigger picture. We need to think. We need to think holistically. And this takes my mind to that place in the Holy Scriptures when God Himself said it according to the Bible that it is not good for man to be alone. And really, that should make us just pause a bit and reflect. Even if you don't read the Bible, think about it. Loneliness, it is already a problem in itself. Being alone, it's not a curse. It's not that God said if you're alone, you are doomed. No. But there was a reason why the author of life would say it is not good for a man to be alone. So why I brought that point is not standalone. It's just to further confirm that cMMM, it's not the place to come and be bashing the women in our lives. It's not for that. Yes, during conversation, man to man or man to man, some things may be brought up, but every time we have to think solution. We have to think big picture mindset. We have to think gathering mindset rather than scattering. We have to think we're not part of the problem rather than adding to the problem. Yes, I can see some people already. Yes, thank you, Brahmadia from India. Thank you for your comments. Please, that's a good reminder. If you're just joining us now, please let us know where you are joining from. If you're still online, leave a comment. But I'll just continue with the point I was making. So, men, we have to think big picture. So it's not a time to think. Uh, how do I put it now? Short-sighted or thin-minded. It's good to be focused as a man, but in the context of cMMM, we are not adding to the problem. Rather, we want to go after solutions. We are not going to scatter. Rather, we want to gather as much as reasonably practicable. We do know that there are boundaries. So yeah, I'll stay on that first point. What cMMM conversations with multicultural and migrant men, what it is not. It is not a place to bash the women in our lives, period. I know it's hard sometimes, especially depending on the context or the current situations you are in. It is difficult. It is, yeah, I don't want to go into all those right now. Let's just be focused on the fact that this is being introduced. I'll just go ahead to the second point. What cMMM is not. What it is not. Again, it does not take away our personal responsibilities as men. Can I just say quickly that this video, even though I'm saying men, it's not just for men. This is FamilyWorth platform. It is introducing what will be for men only eventually, but currently my audience is everybody. If you have a man in your life that you care about, sometimes you may not have even had a good experience with men. I know that sounds like a provocative statement, but that's just life. We all have experiences in life, and some of them historically may not be that good. But you may not. You may have a son now. You may have a brother. So a man in your life. So I think, irrespective of what the past looks like, you want to be interested in what will benefit the men in your life. And I think cMMM will do a bit of that for you. It's not the only solution, but it's something that may help. So this video, or currently my audience with this video, is not just men. I am introducing something that will be for men because of the peculiarity of the challenges that particular cohort face. And sometimes there's something about men and men rubbing minds together. Again, I said it before, it's not meant to be negative. So the second point I was trying to make there is that it does not take away our personal responsibilities. Just in case somebody does not understand my accent, and that is life. I just want to write it down. Responsibilities. Yeah. So the second point I was just making there, please, if you are joining me, it would be great to know that you are there. Please just leave a shout out, leave a comment, let me know that you are watching, and that would be great. Otherwise, I will just keep going. Thank you. I know a few people are coming and going out. A few people are just checking out what this is all about. That is absolutely understandable. But we'll keep going. So it's the second point of what cMMM is not. It does not take away our personal responsibility. You wouldn't say because you are now part of cMMM group, then you will not do other things that is part of your personal action, personal responsibilities. And that is quite a big one, because it's not meant to come and make anybody feel good. We will be sharing life, we will be sharing principles, we will be sharing encouragement, but it does not take away your responsibility as a man, as a husband, as a dad, as a brother, as a son. So that is one thing that cMMM does not do. The third and final point I just want to make, what cMMM is not. Conversations with migrant and multicultural men in a private Facebook group under FamilyWorth Facebook page, that's where it's going to be. It's not going to operate in a boundaryless venture. I will try and explain that, because that looks like a big comment. So let me try and explain what I mean by boundaryless. I'll put it down so that we don't miss that. I know that there may be no word like that, but allow me to use that. So it's not going to operate without boundary. No, like the overall FamilyWorth platform, we have to have points of references. We have to have boundaries. So for cMMM, definitely the law of the land will take precedence. The law of the land will be a boundary. Anything that is not lawful, anything that will take anyone to prison or whatever, it's not going to be promoted under cMMM. I'll give you an example that sometimes a lot of multicultural migrant men would maybe one time in their lifetime in diaspora may fall into that trap. I always try to be very open. I have almost fallen into that trap a couple of times. A small smack on the bottom of your child as a reprimand, if you are not careful, in diaspora, it could take you to prison. Think about that. So I think this is where we really need as men to have a chat, to talk, to encourage each other, to just sort of talk about those boundaries, share experiences, share lessons learned, because somebody may not know that. Somebody that is new could have fallen into trouble before whoever, either government agencies or family support group, could reach them. So we owe it to ourselves as men to sort of just keep supporting each other. Please, I can see that people are going and coming on the platform. In case you plan to stay with us, just let me know you're there. It will be great. So the third point, which I just mentioned, is family world is going to operate, it's not going to operate without boundaries. So that is one thing that it is not. It is not a platform where anything goes. It's not a platform where anybody can just display any behavior. I know we are not security agents, but hopefully the vision will attract the right people that want to really um, um, contribute and also be supported in that space. So I've just said a few things about what family world is not. The third point I made there is that it's not going to operate without boundary. And one of them is the law, the boundary of the law. I just gave an example of just a smack on the buttocks of your child could lead you to prison in some countries. And that is just shocking for a few multicultural migrant men. Sometimes some of us already fell into the ditch before we are informed. So cMMM will try to bring solutions in some of those kind of contexts. The other thing is that I keep saying it, we are working with a Christian worldview. So another boundary is that family world is not against the church. Family world is not going to work in isolation of the doctrines of what we believe, which is a Christian worldview. So that is another boundary. I know sometimes this may have a risk of excluding a few people. We hope not, because those principles are actually principles of life. It will help anybody that applies them. Sometimes you don't even have to be in church to apply the principles. We've seen cases where it works for people that don't go to church every Sunday. It's a principle of life. It's a principle that works. So family world is going to operate under that boundary. It's not going to be in isolation. It's not going to go against the doctrines and teachings of the Holy Scriptures. The other one is just the whole beyond the church system and which we actually will be very aligned to. We also want to operate with our own with a conscience that is clear, a conscience that is clear before God. Because as we know, sometimes you even get confused with different doctrines of the church, depending on which one you're aligned with. And that's why we'll try not to be bogged down with all those. We just want to go with the simple things of life that works, but still align with the Christian worldview. I've said a lot about what family world is not. I just want to take time now to really. I know we're not having a lot of people here with us, but if you are sticking by, please let us know that you are around. After all, this was meant to be a conversation. I know it's new, so it may take a while for it to gather some attention. That's fine. And with things like this, sometimes you do not wait for crowd. As long as you know that you're trying to do something from a pure conscience, something that is solution oriented, something that will help one or two persons, may not be a crowd, and something that is not meant to divide, but actually gather. That is what cMMM is all about. So I've mentioned what it is not. So I would like to just spend a bit of time now to go into what it is. What it is. Just like the overall banner I showed earlier on, FamilyWorth and this particular group, it's the conversations with multicultural and migrant men, cMMM. It's meant to provide hope. Now, I know that's a big word sometimes. It's like committing to something very big when you say you want to provide hope. But hey, the world is sometimes it looks like things are getting quite hopeless. I also want to come back to our primary focus, which is multicultural and migrant men. I know a few people are doing it really well. They have the best of marriages, best of families, best of experience in diaspora, best of settling into a new country. Relocation was smooth. Um, as men, they really get celebrated in their homes. As men, they don't fall into some of those troubles I mentioned earlier on. For example, all your children are very well in line. Um, yes, everyone is doing well. Those that are studying well. Yes, some families, some men are really, really getting it right. But my gut feel, again, I may be wrong here, and not to generalize, but my feeling based on experience, based on observations, I've been quite active in the community space. I have led the Multicultural Professional Bridge now for 4 years. I've done a Lime Youth Program, which has really been successful for youth 12 to 17. Um, I've operated a bit around community and people, especially with this particular cohort, multicultural and migrant people, not just men now. Um, but I perceive that uh, unless we start having some intentional, targeted, strategic conversations and solutions, I'm not sure how we are going. I'm not a soothsayer, I'm not God, but I just feel uh, some things need to be done intentionally for this cohort. And I'm sure someone will ask later, why only multicultural and migrant men? Why? Why are you not being discriminatory? I've thought about that a lot. In many things I do think about that, including my community work. Um, but we would try to be all inclusive. Yes, we're not going to, if a non-migrant man joins, want to be part of us, we'll say no, it's not for you. No, no, that's not the idea here. But the idea is to really address specific context so that we don't chase many balls and miss all of them. Sometimes it's good to chase one and get it right, then you can actually look at other things. So that is the mindset, that's the principle. It is not meant to exclude. But I feel that this particular cohort, I'm one of them. So this is where the major, if you like, the major competitive advantage I have in leading this group for now, and there could be another leader, a better one later to come, is that I am part of this cohort. And I'm not going to say in front of the screen that, oh, I have everything perfect going. But thank God I still have my family, I still have my dreams. Yes, it's not perfect. And I think with this issue we are discussing, it's really time for even those that have everything perfect should be interested with the affairs of others. Because really, again, I've said this in some of my video clips, it's difficult for anyone to boast now when it comes to family matters because things could change in a short while. But I also recognize that there are principles that work. And this is where cMMM is going to really dwell, bring principles that work. give platform, give stage to those that would share with us what works. But we also want to make those that are struggling, those that may not be having it easy as a man, to feel comfortable enough to want to be part of a group. And I'm not talking like this because I'm perfect in my own judgment, but I realize that sometimes men are lonely. Um, I know that's a general, the risk of being generalistic. And please don't crucify me for that. Like I said earlier on, some people are doing it well. But we see the statistics regularly. I'll just flag something here, which I've shared before. Now, sometimes when you see statistics like this, again, it's not meant to be we and them. It's not meant to be man versus woman. It was never meant to be like that. It's just the society we are in now, the trend of the time. We shouldn't be fighting with the women in our lives. I quoted a scripture earlier on that we're not meant to do life alone in the general sense of it. In one way or the other, we may be finding ways to have company. But one of the original design for company is marriage and family. So anything we do, including in cMMM, we should not scatter. We should try. Sometimes it may be a thin line, it may be hard, but let's keep trying to stay the course, to endure, to persevere. I know sometimes some of those words are heavy, but ultimately we want to be strategic. We want to look at the big picture. In 10 years' time, in 20 years' time, what will my action of today amount to? Those are the kind of questions we need to be asking ourselves. So coming back to the slides I just have in front of you, I know again, this may not apply to everybody, but these are statistics, these are trends. The men's head part to the left, I'll leave you to look at that later yourself. There are quite a few things we should be doing as men. I personally love life. I want to live. So we should be doing a few things that help you to live well. Exercise, nutrition. I'm not a wellness specialist. I believe in it. But I really want to live the fullness of my life. And as every man, we should be looking at that. And in cMMM, we're really going to promote those aspects, encourage men to live life to the fullest. So take your time to look at those, and some of those points, we don't need to talk about them. Most of us know. Most of us know men. We know that we need to be doing exercise every day. We know that we need to eat well. We know that I'm not going to go into that, sleep well, but many of us still do not do it. We need to do a self-care, mental health. And I don't need to tell you the statistics of suicide amongst people, for that matter, generally, but even with men, some of them very young. So anything that can help to sort of bring down that trend, cMMM would like to promote that. Of course, again, in the context of the Christian worldview. It doesn't mean, of course, that view believes that people should live healthy. Now, going to the other facts, the last two aspects of this slide, it just shows that men die younger. And again, I don't want to stir up any pot of sort of trouble. No, but I just want to flag it because this is not my statistics. I'm just quoting what research has found. So I don't know why. There may be other medical reasons. The health officials would know better. But I've been reflecting on it myself. And I'm not saying that I have to live longer than my wife or that, or the other women in my life. No, that's not the aspect. It's not a competition. It is taking it personal to live to the fullest as a man, because I believe we have a lot to do. We have a lot to offer to our world as men. So I just flagged that slide or that particular picture to show that the statistics are there, that men die younger. And I don't want us to rush into blaming anybody for that. Sometimes it's easier to blame someone, but rather what cMMM will promote as part of giving hope and support is to encourage, inspire, challenge, inform men to live to the fullest. And it's not just physical, it's also about the mind, the soul, doing well from the inside out. Because many times the issues of life are sorted on the inside first before you can reconcile it on the outside. How beautiful it is to be aligned on the different poles. So I'm just trying to share. I don't know where this will get to. I don't know whether even cMMM will survive. I've always believed in testing. I test. And if it doesn't work, we kill it. And we get on to other things that work. But I believe in testing, especially when I feel something needs to be done, something extra, a little bit extra. It's not a world changer. cMMM is not meant to be a money maker or a world changer. But it would be nice. It's just meant to add a bit, a little drop of water, like they say, becomes a mighty ocean. So we just want to add a bit. So what cMMM is to provide hope. Provide hope. Even if you were not here live, I just want to take this time now to really ask, please, later on, we appreciate if you can provide some feedback. Would have loved it real time, but even after you watch the production, please leave comments. It's not too late. You could still ask questions. We can pick it up later and discuss it with the team. And later on, again, you can tell us where you're from. Earlier on, we saw someone was from India. The issue of family and men is global, even though we are operating locally first. And again, I just want to say here, please, if these touches something, I don't know what that thing is. Like I said, we are solution oriented. If it touches something in you, you want to find out more, just like this page, this Facebook page, or if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe so that you can be updated with what FamilyWorth is doing, and specifically later on, you can be provided with more updates about cMMM. Currently, cMMM is live on Facebook. It is a group under FamilyWorth page. If you are interested to be part of that group, go there, express your interest. There are a few questions that are there to answer. Many of them are more or less, they're almost implied, it's for cMMM. Conversations with Multicultural Migrant Men is for men. I've explained why it is. And I can assure you, women of our lives, we are not going to be there. Personally, as the current leader of this initiative, I'm not going to tolerate we being there and bashing and just whinging about the women of our lives. It will be counterproductive. It will be useless. It will be time wasting. But rather, we want to uphold. We want to. I'll just put that because that is a key word. We want to uphold. Want to uphold one another because there's something about upholding each other. Just by the word uphold. And sometimes some of us need it. I discovered that, and again, sometimes anybody can already guess that I'm also talking from experience. And again, I'm not blaming anybody. Sometimes you have to come to a point where you take personal responsibility for your future. I'm going to make a provocative statement here. Why should you die? And you're not going to blame anybody that someone killed you. But you can take steps. I know that's a big statement to use death. That's like an extreme. But sometimes it's a thin line. If you don't take care of your mental health, you do not take care of your physical health. And for some that understand, I'm a big believer of that, you also need to take care of your spiritual health. If you don't, then the line becomes thinner to go to the other side. And of course, unfortunately, many are going that direction. Thankfully, we have good doctors. We have good general practitioners. Mine is one of them. I love my GP. And I believe many men do, especially when you are beginning to get to the second half of life. You want to be friends with your GP. You want to be open with your GP because, of course, we men, we do have our peculiar challenges as life goes on. But there's a limit to which any medical practitioner can do for you. There's a limit. There comes a time when you have to take matters into your hands for good and for the good of all, including your family. Taking matters into your hand does not mean you have to fight with someone. Again, I'll quote something that we believe as Christians, that our battles are not with flesh and blood. My battle is not with my wife and children. My battle is not with my neighbors or my brothers are in the village. If there is any human being involved with my battle, it is me. It is me. Of course, we know that there are evil forces. And that is why the battle is first spiritual. I know that someone may just ask that, oh, Ephraim is talking spiritual. Yeah, I believe the human life is more than just what you are seeing now, Ephraim. That is why, just a simple illustration, when, because it's going to happen unless the other part we believe in eternity or things wrapping up. But if someone dies now, there's something that happened between seeing the corpse lying there, lifeless, with nothing. You could even smash it, you could bash it. There's no reflex, there's no response, compared to maybe a day or two before, where the person would actually defend himself or herself. So there's something that has gone out of that body. And there are many ways different religions and beliefs or movements, whatever you call them, explain that. I have experientially come to an explanation for that for myself. That's why faith is very personal. So that was a bit of a distraction, but hopefully that also cuts across to someone. So cMMM under FamilyWorth is really meant to provide hope. Many other things do provide hope. Yes, religious bodies, including the church. There could be hope in government, because some government are so responsible that they can actually provide you hope. But ultimately, what cMMM will try to encourage is a hope that is sustainable, that is deep, that demands personal responsibility for progress, for growth, for solution, for yourself. The other thing is to also provide support where we can. Again, there are scarce resources. We are not a group with bags of money somewhere. The most of the support we will be providing through cMMM has to do with information, non-judgmental fellowship, just men to men. I did mention it before, and sometimes you have the men shared in Australia where men just gather together, and you've heard some great stories with such gathering, remarkable stories. But again, cMMM, it's really concerned about multicultural and migrant men, because sometimes some of us, we go to some of those places, we still do not feel at home. We still do not get into the mix, and so the benefits may not be there. I don't have anything against men shared. I've attended once or twice, but this is really meant to provide similar kind of support. I did mention earlier, I can see someone joining us. If you are comfortable with this, please let us know you're there. Give us a shout. Where are you watching from? Who are you? Okay, person is gone. It's okay. Sometimes in live stream, people don't want to identify themselves, which is okay. Hopefully, it can be watched later. So just that support will be given as much as we can, based on limited resources. The other, again, like I said, information will be the other support. We can share experiences, we can share stories, we can share with one another, share life together, within boundaries, of course. You can't force anyone to go beyond what they can afford to give. So people will give time, people will give stories, people will give information. Under the current circumstances, most things are online, so we may have to engage online initially. We'll do all those just to make sure that we provide the necessary support. So So if you are there, you're watching, can you give a shout out, please? Otherwise, we just say welcome to the platform. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time. We're talking about cMMM, which is the Conversations for Multicultural and Migrant Men, which is going to be a private group under FamilyWorth page. You can check it out later, but for now, if you are okay with it, let us know you're on the platform. It will be nice to know that you are there. Thank you. But I'll just keep going while we expect to see whoever comes on the platform. So I was just saying that support is one area that FamilyWorth, the cMMM is going to provide according to this major banner we've used so far. Hope, we talked about hope. Assurance, and support, we talk about support. We'll come to assurance later. The other support we will likely give as much as possible. I said we're going to provide information. We're going to share life together, share stories together. Where necessary, we'll share our experiences to date. For example, I have had quite some experiences working with multicultural communities. That has been a passion. But over time, I realized that, yes, we're trying to bridge work and other things, but the aspect of family is always a foundational aspect for anyone. I know sometimes, even with all your effort, you may not still end up with your desired family situation. Life happens. But I realize that that aspect is very important and would either impact other aspects for good or for challenges. And sometimes I shy away from using bad because you can actually make bad to become good as a human being. It depends on your attitude. So one other aspect where we can use to support people is just sharing information, sharing life, sharing stories and experiences. I've tried to do that myself, even with my books. So in my books these days, I try not to just talk about career only, because I've now realized that people do not live in vacuums. How well you do in family sometimes can impact your career. If your home is not settled, of course, we encourage resilience. We encourage people to keep moving on. Like Johnny Walker, keep walking. I believe in that. But do and try as much as you can, especially when it depends on you, including as a man. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not only you it depends on, but as much as it is within your power, try and live a holistic life, a life that there is a balance. So in many of my books, I try to bring that balance. But the handbook for migrants is really talking about my story, leaving my country almost 18 years now, no more than 18 years, going to 19. Leaving my country, no, it's 18 years, sorry for the mix-up. So leaving my country and deciding to make the big move, and all the good, the challenges, and the lessons involved in that. It's not a religious book per se, but the principles are there. The other one, Voices from Home, is really another great contribution. As people in diaspora, migrants, we need to keep our roots intact. It is actually a competitive edge for you. And finally, my recent book, Adopt, Adapt, Achieve, is being an Amazon bestseller for weeks now. It's really connected with a lot of people. It's something that I've really, I make this claim, and I'm not just saying it to promote. It is one of my greatest contribution in this space, because if we can get this AAA right, it will help you as a migrant or anybody for that matter dealing with change. So today is not really about selling books, but I just wanted to tell you that that's one way that we want to also provide support, just providing information under the platform of cMMM, and ultimately just supporting people. And the last one is assurance. I know that word is big. It's also a little bit related to faith. When people begin to lose hope, when people begin to struggle, and men do that a lot because of our peculiar challenges sometimes, people need assurance, people need faith, people need to look forward, something to look forward to. And cMMM will try to provide that as much as possible. Again, I want to make it clear, full disclaimer, I'm not saying that there are no other worldviews. It will be based on the Christian worldview as our point of references. And it's okay to visit us, learn from us what you can take, and then go apply other things you want to apply, but we will always stay within that boundary in what we do. So in providing assurance, people need assurance. It all comes down to one word, which I use a lot recently: balance. Balance. And how much do people of migrant and multicultural background need balance in these days? And especially as men, we need balance. We need to find our balance. Sometimes my balance is not your balance. To be a balance between my upbringing and now a balance between my disciplinary action and how much I can hold back. I put a lot in my last book I mentioned, Adapt, Achieve, balance. Yeah, so I would like to round up this video now. Again, we cannot say more. Time flies so fast. It's already an hour. I just feel I've started. Hopefully you will find this useful as you look at it later. I really, most of the time, don't want to go beyond an hour. So please, once again, check out, don't forget to subscribe, keep in touch with us, and we'll just try and keep going. Please remember the word balance. It's one thing to live. Before I go, like I told you, this is a Christian worldview. A lot of people haven't said all. It's good to also commit things into prayer. I believe in prayer. I believe in spirituality. So I just want to leave you with this prayer. I really pray that for all men and people around them out there, I pray that you will receive grace, you will receive strength, you will receive just that belief, hope, and that strength that comes from above that will keep you going beyond your own physical and human strength. So until we meet again, Family World is meant to be weekly, different episodes and different topics. And I wish you the best. And please keep in touch. Remember the word in rounding up: balance. Thank you for staying with us today. And we just want to wish you the best. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.